To help you prepare for your school activity of mapping a playground or part of your school grounds, I want to give you the example of an outreach that I did to a fifth grade class at Lineweaver Elementary School in Tucson, Arizona. Now, first we could look at Lineweaver itself, and Lineweaver is facing due north to the front of the school where the parking lot we see. Its west side is where the text is here. So it follows the classic township and range grid system. So when I'm in class, I can orient the students in that direction and think about those concepts. Now, when I discussed in class to the students, we chose this location. Acts as their meeting ground where parents meet with the students and we hear about activities that are going to go on for the day and things that are coming up for the week, things like that. So the students see this as their meeting ground, this very common place to be used, and one that was fairly bound in terms of space and easily used. It was actually a little over 200 square feet, but that was worked out fine. And we ended up cutting it off at about the end of this sidewalk here. Now we take a look at what this area looked like. We can see that it had some trees, some trash cans, some picnic tables. It also had a few park benches. So you don't need a lot of objects in this space to map. The idea is to just practice doing this kind of exercise in a space. In this case, since our square grid that we were going to map actually lined up fairly well nicely with north, south, east, and west, I had the students actually start at this sidewalk on the northern side of the meeting ground area and then proceed to work on their pacing to figure out their pacing as they moved south for 100 feet. And I'll show you a video next on how to do your pacing. Pacing is very important because we can figure out our distance measurements based on how often our feet fall. In the video that I'm going to show, Jesse and I actually measured our steps in terms of every right step, which is the traditional way to do it, because that's based on the Roman mile. But for the purposes of this class and K through 12, I'd recommend that you just measure every single pace. It makes it a little bit easier for students to understand.